I didn't confront my fiancée when I found out she was committing insider trading. Oh, I simply vanished.
The Horn and Splinter wasn't fancy, but it was my kind of place. A place where a man could sit with his beer and feel the weight of 40 years settle comfortably on his shoulders. 40 years I spent building this town schools, bridges, the courthouse. Retirement felt less like rest and more like stepping into a museum of my own past. That evening, my wife Barbara joined me. Radiant, successful, the owner of the busiest salon in 3 counties. After 30 years of marriage, her smile still gave me butterflies. Then he walked in, Thomas Wilson. Expensive suit, cocky smirk. The regulars went quiet, like old wolves sensing a fox in their territory. He slid into the seat beside Barbara. "Barbara," he said, "have you thought about my offer?" I frowned. "Offer?" She hesitated. "He wants to invest in my expansion." "Invest?" he echoed, smirking at me. "Your wife is too talented to stay small. A real business needs a real man backing it." The bar froze. I put down my drink. "Come again?" Wilson looked me over like I was a rusted tool. Old-timer, Barbara could go national with the right partner. She deserves someone ... more. I held his gaze. "And you think that someone is you?" He leaned closer to my wife. "She deserves a man who matches her ambition, a real man." The words hung in the air. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. "Son," I said, "you don't know a damn thing about real men." He smirked, thinking he'd won. He had no idea the hell he had just invited into his life. The next days were a blur. Wilson showed me pictures of him and Barbara at a hotel restaurant, entering an elevator. My blood ran cold. But Barbara told me the truth. It was a business meeting, nothing more. He pressured her. I believed her. But Wilson didn't care about truth. He spread rumors, clients canceled, suppliers backed out. He was strangling her business one whisper at a time. I called Ray, a retired sheriff. He dug into Wilson's past. It was uglier than the rumors. He'd targeted women-owned businesses before, sabotaged them, and forced cheap bailouts. A predator. 2 nights later, Barbara's new salon, everything she'd built for months, went up in flames. Arson. She collapsed in my arms, her grief pouring out. "I can't do this anymore," she whispered. Watching her break was the moment I stopped being patient. I tracked him down to a rental house 2 towns over. He answered the door, drunk and smug. One punch took him off his feet. "This," I said, grabbing his shirt, "is what a real man does. He protects his wife, he protects his home. And he sure as hell doesn't let rats burn down her dreams." He sobbed, begging. I leaned down, my voice calm. "You're going to confess. You're going to pay every cent. You're going to apologize publicly. And then you're going to disappear. And if I don't," he whimpered. "Then," I said, "they'll be counting your teeth." The next morning, he confessed. He agreed to restitution and vanished, or so we thought. Barbara rebuilt, stronger than ever. The town rallied behind her, and her business flourished beyond her wildest dreams. But Wilson wasn't done. After being denied parole, he crawled back into town, thin, broken, eyes burning with hatred. "I dug into your past," he spat. "Tampa, 1986. The worker who died, the negligence. The cover-up, a ghost I'd carried for decades rose from its grave. Joey Martinez, a young worker crushed under a beam. An accident, but the guilt never left me." Wilson tossed an envelope onto my workbench. "Your wife, your town, they'll all know." He left, victorious. When I told Barbara the whole truth, I trembled, waiting for judgment. She just took my hands. "Jim," she whispered, "you've punished yourself enough. That was an accident, not a sin. He doesn't get to rewrite your life." That night, Ray called. Wilson had violated parole. He was arrested again. Justice doesn't always come with a bow, but it comes. Weeks later, Barbara and I sat beneath the gazebo I'd finally finished for her. Her head rested on my shoulder. You know, she said softly, Wilson thought he could break us by attacking what we built. He didn't understand, I replied. Real men don't measure strength by money or youth. They measure it by loyalty, by love. She smiled. And real women know the difference. We watched the stars in peaceful silence. Somewhere far away, Thomas Wilson was counting the teeth he had left. Barbara, meanwhile, was counting appointments, profits, and expansion plans. And me, I was counting my blessings. Because the woman next to me knew exactly who I was, flaws, scars, secrets, and all, and she loved me anyway. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like and subscribe.